16 years? He must have had to use a chisel to get them off.
You're superstitious, aren't you?
I used to be.
Gary never gets out of bed for less than 50 grand.
Everyone always wonders when there's a partnership in sport whether or not there's any actual romance there, whether there's any sparks there. Which I'm not asking you now, but Gary, you and Mark Lawrenson.
Rich, I can't imagine ice skating's big in Australia. Australians do ice skating. It's a bit of a sort of effeminate sport.
A bit of what?
You're on his deaf side.
I went ice skating once.
Did you?
Well, I was 16, 17 at the time, and it took me 4 miles. I had to walk home after I'd taken the girl home who'd gone ice skating with me. And I thought, forget that, and I never went again.
You should have taken the skates off.
Yeah. Would have been quicker.
No ideas? He's saying something like, come on, it's not a sport, we're just twatting around on the ice in frocks.
No, I'm afraid not, and I can't hand it across. The answer was... Well, because Jayne's going to know.
Come on.
In fact, I'm going to ask Jayne, because I was going to read out what was actually said, but I think... But Jayne, can you be Jayne Torvill and I'll be Christopher Dean?
OK.
I've said that to you before, haven't I? All you need is a bucket of ice, I tell you, in a hotel room. OK. We've all thought it. OK, I'll be Christopher. Why are you changing it? Why have you just left it in one place the whole time?
But you said don't go like that.
It still has the round movement, doesn't it?
Don't look at me like that.
OK, OK, hands up, eyes to the ceiling, great. Good attitude, Jayne. Yeah. What a bastard, eh? As we've heard, Christopher Dean wore the same lucky pair of M&S pants for every major championship he and Jayne skated in. They split in 1994, and Jayne and Chris broke up 4 years later.
Beautifully done, sir.
Thank you.
Beautifully done.
Jayne once said, for us, skating is as pleasurable as sex. In other words, nothing too ambitious, avoid the damp patches, and try and finish together. David's team, it's an equally popular sport for you, the Japanese Shouting Championships from Osaka. And this time we want you to translate what the competitors are saying.
Those were Grampus 8 fans, weren't they? Saying, get that Renneker off his clap.
It's what I said to Chris when the cameras were turned off.
What's that? Did you ever used to swear at him?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Why not?
She's too nice, aren't you?
No,
Jayne is very nice.
Sweet,
She's so nice
sweet.
downstairs.
Sorry?
No. They had a drink before the show.
She was nice. She didn't even ask for cash like they normally do. Is he shouting? Is that bloke shouting, come back, Winneker! Pay the maintenance to my daughter! We know you are the father! We don't need DNA testing! Those big ears, not Japanese man! Come back, crispy boy! We don't want crispy! We want yen! Lower yen! Lower yen! Come back, Winneker! Short time, Winneker! I'm stopping up your asshole! You dirty boy! Dirty boy! You dirty little boy! I'm not... Oh, sorry.
No, it's nothing.
Please, David.
It was, honestly, it was nothing.
He's not asking you test average. He wants to know what you're going to say. Come on.
Actually, that would be a challenge, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be a challenge to get naught.
Absolutely nothing.
There's a fella in Australia who played only one test. His name was Roy Park. And Roy Park's wife went to the MCG pack ground, watched him play in his first test match, and she was knitting away. Batsman got out. Roy Park, husband, comes in, and she dropped a wool, bent down to pick it up, and he's out.
That was it? That was his test career?
Never played again. Average naught.
Well, it's a shouting competition. They're probably just shouting very loudly, don't go and see Pearl Harbor.
No ideas?
No ideas.
I'm not going to hand it across. The answer was, of course, they were shouting, don't be a fool. Well, did you know the answer?
Yes.
Well, bad luck. I'm not handing it across because I couldn't hand it.
Throwing Thai rice.
It's on the board now, you cheeky big...
Yes, the answer was, of course, don't be a fool, you can't throw Thai rice, give it to me if you want to. And karate crazy Mazutazi is immortal. I'd have accepted either of those answers. The competition rules are simple. Loudest competitor gets the prize. Last year's winner was Jonathan's wardrobe. The current shouting world champion is Poland's Dagmara Stanek. She was measured at 126.1 decibels, although nobody actually heard her shout because compere Ruby Wax was chatting at the time. And at the end of that round, David's team have 3 points and Gary's team have 3 points. It's time for What's Going On. Gary's team take a look at this.
Yorkshire Pud.
How dare you?
Yorkshire boys.
What is the collective noun for... Anyone know the collective noun for a bunch of Yorkshiremen? What is it? A tightness? An how much? Well, there are an exceptional number of Yorkshire people in the test match. The
Test squad. Yeah, I'll give you 3 points for that, indeed, yes. That was filmed at Lord's last month after 5 Yorkshire players were picked for the England Test squad. And what better way to commemorate the fact than to dress Dickie Bird in a chef's hat and apron and get him to cook them all Yorkshire puddings. Now he's retired, umpire Dickie Bird has just taken his first holiday by the seaside. He's the one wearing 6 sun hats and 5 thongs. David's team, here's yours.
The device is a Mongol-type catapult where they used to seize villages. They'd put a dead body in it with botulism and throw it over the wall and kill everybody. So it's a Mongol thing.
My name, Captain Speed,
Why are you called Captain Speed?
because I am a captain and I'm fast.
Ring any bells, Jonathan? So, what was going on there?
Is this how they test Jordan's bras?
I apologise, Richie. This isn't a real sport. I think this is ridiculous. Every week on the show now, a couple of weeks ago we had hog calling, we had Japanese shouting, and you know I don't know a lot about sport. I think you put this stuff on just so that I can be ridiculed and mocked for my lack of knowledge of sport. What's that other one you had? You had these blokes playing some sport in their pyjamas. Cricket, you called it. I don't believe that. I read a nice thing in the paper about you the other day. In The Guardian here, they rate the pundits, and you come out of it very nicely. They say, Rye, rakish manner gives him the appearance of one who has wandered into the television studio straight from the nightclub. What nightclub would that be? The Broken Hippodrome? And it says, the winning smile makes him an object of sexual fantasy for countless women of a certain age. I don't know what age they're talking about. They've got your picture pinned up next to that telegram from the Queen. That's the age they're talking about.
It's the Bronze Age. That's the age they're talking about.
The Bronze Age.
This is the bit I like, though. Sometimes you wish you weren't quite so laid back about Jonathan Wass. Were he to sock the smug so-and-so on the nose once in a while, he could earn the nation's grateful thanks.
Thank God he aimed for my nose. That means he's only caught me there.
Come on, then, let's answer the question,
I
boys
forgot
and
the
girls.
question. Jane, what was the question?
What's going on?
Must have done.
The pumpkin.
The pumpkin.
Ah, there's a
Are they
key word.
pumpkins?
There's a
They were
key word.
pumpkins.
Well done, Jane.
Is it pumpkin hurling, pumpkin tossing?
I'll give you 3
Tossing,
points for that,
throwing,
just because I like you. The key word, pumpkin. That was the biggest sport in the US state of Delaware.